breathe deep in through the nose and out through the nose. And we'll just do it for 1 more minute. This is a great exercise to connect you. You can add it to your morning practice. If you're doing a morning practice or you want to know what to do in your morning practice, you could just add this in for a few minutes and it's going to connect you. You know, when you feel super in flow and connected to something bigger and just yourself. I call it your soul space. Other lineages call it the pure essence. Other people call it balanced. Other people call it in the zone. So that's really the state, isn't it? Wow, I just saw lightning here. And then I just saw Alice, your room also light up. Because we're both in Sydney. How cool is that? It's lightning out there. Yeah. So just do a few more breaths. And just notice how you're feeling with this. You'll feel it's regulating your system. Tapping them, yeah, back and forth, back and forth. So this is regulating your nervous system. This is giving you more vagal toning, which I'll explain in just a minute. And take one more deep breath in. Deep, deep, deep. Hold the breath. You can squeeze your pelvic floor, squeeze your belly in, kind of feel some heat rising. Really take another deep breath. And then just release the breath and just kind of feel maybe your aura getting bigger. Open your eyes. Have a look around the room even, and just kind of notice maybe your state changed just even 1%. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more balanced, a little bit more in yourself. So have a little check-in with that. All right, we're going to jump straight in. So what we were working with right then was your nervous system. Regulating our nervous system, we can do it a lot through the breath, but we can do it a lot through so many different things. This is what I'm going to unravel for you tonight. All these secrets to get you into more of a regulated state. But to do that, we can't just broad stroke it. We can't just say, just love yourself or pamper yourself or, do some self-love things. You hear a lot of these kind of broad stroke things of help take care of yourself more. And it's kind of like, well, how do we do that? And what do we do when we feel really triggered and when we feel like we're pushing forward or we feel really alone and a lot of stuff's coming up? So this funny picture, you're going to be thinking, what the hell are you doing, Alexis? On the right, this funny picture. Does anyone know what this is? All these beautiful like stringy things. Well, this is part of your nervous system. This is when you're feeling that nervousness or that when you're not regulated or when you want to go and hide. It's all to do with your nervous system. That's why we have to have a look at it and get some bit of scientific understanding. That's what I'm going to cover. So your vagus, what I'm going to explain is, so vagal tone, you have something called the vagus nerve. It runs, so get your finger with me and touch the side of your head. It runs from the 10th cranial bone there. So that's where it starts. And then it comes literally and you can even just move your hand over your face, just so you can kind of get like an understanding. All these fibers, all these nervous system wiring comes over your face. It comes down your neck. It comes down your chest and it goes into the gut. So, the gut feeling that something's off, or, when all these responses, this is what's happening. Your nervous system is creating these feelings in you. So we're looking at how to flow, how to have fun, how to have spaciousness in our life. And especially when we're building our business, well, we have to know about how to regulate our nervous system, how to talk to it and how to help it. Okay. So vagal tone, it's actually a way to measure how our body responds to stress. So we can measure now how much stress you're under and how little stress you're under. And it's applied to all parts of medicine, which is super exciting because it's kind of going to the epicenter of what's going on when we're feeling, you know, how Alice just said, feeling off sorts and feeling a little bit up and down today. So that your whole nervous system would have been creating those feelings in you. And if you know how to affect it, then you can change your state of feeling. Okay. So the vagus nerve is the main thing for rest and digestion. So that's why when you're in a funk, when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling in fight or flight, you're feeling nervous, this is the system that you can do tools with, which I'm going to show you to get it to activate and to go into like a calming state or a digesting state. So it turns down the heart rate and blood pressure and causes digestion. So it's an automatic part of your body that when you're in a bit of funk, it will help you to calm down. That's what it will do. But in a lot of people, it's not functioning properly. It's not doing that. So you can end up being, in the fight or flight, in the fear response, or hiding away in your life, and you're not sure why. You're not sure, like you might be thinking, I want to launch out there. I want to get out there, but there's something stopping me. There's this kind of, you're working harder, but you're not getting the results. You're in a bit of a funk. Okay. So what I'm going to explain is HRV. So this is a way to measure. So you might be thinking, well, how much stress, like Joe or, everyone here, you might be thinking, am I in a good place to push myself now? Like, am I rested? Am I regulated? Am I got a lot of juice? I've got a lot of energy. Or am I not in a good place? Should I not be pushing myself with work? Should I be, doing some slow stretches and doing some breathings? Like, how do we know that, right? How do we know? We haven't been able to measure it before. Hello, lovely lady, welcome. And now we can measure it. We can measure it actually through our heartbeat. So I'm just going to show you a device which is called an HRV monitor. And this is just, I'm not selling this or anything. I'm just showing you educating you about what the HRV is. So it's heart rate variability. So I basically just, I put that like here, I put that on my ear. And this is just showing some technology now. This is about $70, this thing that I got. And you just download the app and it connects to the app via Bluetooth. And then you breathe in and out and it shows your heart rate, like ding, bing, shows your heart rate. And what it's measuring is your heart rate variability. So it means that if your heart rate's really variable, so if your heart is got a lot of differences in when it's beating, so if there's a lot of variability, it means you're not very stressed. It means that you've got a lot of juice to give. And if there isn't much variability, like it's just beating very stably, there's not much variability, it means you're really stressed. You're in that survival mode. Who has been there in that rule? Put your hand up. That's survival mode. We've all been there, right? Maybe you feel like you're there now. You're just kind of managing things and there's no, yes, I felt like I was there just today. I was like, stuff came up. I'm like, whoa, I'm feeling a bit funny here, and then I did something to help me. So it's measuring this may be a lot to take in. And so just don't worry, like just jot anything that comes down in your journal that is like a little bit of a light bulb moment for you. But this is the way that we can measure our stress levels. How freaking cool is that? Isn't that amazing? So you can kind of, okay, so that's the HRV, all right? So I just said what was on the text here. It measures the time between your heart rates. And just have a think. If you're in a lot of fear and worry, your heart's going to be just like, oh my God, I've just got to survive. Okay, there's not much room for spaciousness. But if you are very relaxed and calm and you're really balanced, the heart knows that. And the heart is just like, whoa, cool. Things can be fun. Things can be playful. So it starts to vary the heartbeats because it's not in fear. So this is connected to this. So Samine, welcome, lovely. Great to have you with us. This funny photo that I've got on here is our nervous system, and it's called the vagus nerve. So it starts here and it comes down all through to the gut. And that's why I'm talking about it, because this is how we measure our stress levels. And this is what's affecting the state that you're in right now, whether you're in a bit of a funky state or whether you feel that spaciousness and that fun state, and you want to, there's playfulness. And so the whole golden question is, how do we get into that state, or how do we help ourselves? How do we support our nervous system so that we can experience these fun feelings in our life more often than not? So I chose this photo of this gorgeous goddess image here because this is really, like, I feel like it symbolizes what we all really want, like groundedness. We're feeling in our natural beauty. We feel we can be ourselves. We feel we can really look out into the horizon to our dreams and really take action towards them. And when we are, visioning, and when we are, this is when we're in that grounded, that balanced kind of state, right? That's when we get these beautiful thoughts about our life. But we don't really get it when we're in that funk and we're in that, unsteadiness. So there is a huge growing emphasis on rejuvenation and not just pushing forward and working long hours, because I'm sure you've been there, right? When you're working harder, but you're not seeming to get the results. Does anyone relate to that? You're just like, all right, I'll do more hours, but you seem like you're kind of pushing uphill, right? So this is the old model of what we're kind of being indoctrinated into, is like, work harder and get the results. But now there's a lot more kind of emphasis on recovering and rejuvenation, and not just, this is in like high performance, athletes or anyone wanting to do anything. It's not just for athletes, but this is a lot what they're also finding as well. So for example, you may be thinking right now, you might be thinking, okay, so tomorrow I'll do a HIIT workout, I'll pump iron, I'll do lots of social media work, I'll push myself. But then you might tune into your system, you might use this device, or you might just kind of start to know your system more, and you might be like, oh, actually I need to do some slow stretching, I need to do a left nostril breath, which calms your system. I need to actually get into the sun, like maybe do that in the sun. And I need to maybe, okay, a light sauna or a slow walk through nature, or a bit of a nap would really help my system and help me perform better. Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of us are stuck in like, okay, Monday to Friday, I do the gym workout, right? And then, but it's actually working against our system. We don't need that. So, so that's what we're getting to here. And yeah, so assessing your stress levels is where the HRV comes in, because if your HRV is high, there's a lot of variance. It means there's not much stress, and you can then know what actions to take in your business, in your life, in your exercise routine. So yeah, so also the heart rate variability can measure how well you're recovering. And just to let you know, if you do start to track your HRV, you may do something like a workout, and you may feel a lot of stress in your system after that. But that's because you've just kind of pushed your system, and then the next day you'll see that it's coming in at a better result. You can even measure your HRV, for example, after. You could be measuring it right now with me talking and be like, oh, how is Alexis affecting my stress levels? So this is how real time it is. You could get a massage, you could have a training like this, and then kind of put it on and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm a little bit more regulated. There's more spaciousness in me. Or no, like her energy really stressed me out. I'm not gonna go near Alexis again. But this is like really where we want to get to see how people's energy, and we're going to go into that, how everything's affecting you, and everything is affecting us in so much ways. But I think we're just so fast paced, we don't really have check in with how things are affecting us. So I'm going to I know this looks really weird. Have a look. It looks a little scary. So this photo, I just wanted to put that on there because that's showing your nervous system. You have thousands of channels in your body, which is actually in yoga, we call nadis. So there's these thousands of energy channels and nervous system channels. And that's really what's making you feel a certain way. Okay. That's why we need to look at this. We're getting a bit into the sciencey part. I'm not someone that will just broad stroke it and be like, all right, we're going to just love ourselves more and, and then we'll feel better. Obviously, there's a place for that, but I really want to break it down to show what you're working with here. So there's thousands of energy channels called nadis, and there's also your whole nervous system. So all this wiring. So we are electrical beings. Science used to think that we're just physical, but we know, don't we, that there's all these electrical signals going through our body from the brain, and they're all affecting our thoughts and how we're feeling and whatnot. So we are electrical in nature. That's what we're talking about here. And there's 3 different parts of the nervous system. So right now, everyone, ask yourself, which one am I in? Am I in the kind of green light one at the top, ventral? Do I feel safe? Do I feel social? Do I feel connected? Do I feel secure? Do I feel like, I want to go and socialize. I want to go to that party. I want to put myself on social media. I want to, journal new creativity into my business. I want to go and take risks. I want to go and put my hand up for that speaking on stage. You're in that state. So that could be a state right now. And that's the state, of course, that we're looking to get into, we're looking to be in. And there's 2 other states. So there's a sympathetic, that is when, you've got something to do, and like you may start to get those triggered feelings of like, oh my gosh, in fight or flight, or someone cuts you off in traffic, or someone emails you something, your boss emails you something, or something doesn't go as planned, and you shift into the sympathetic. So you may be in the sympathetic right now. And there's dorsal. So that's shut down. So that's when you're feeling that disconnected or numb. That's an example of lone wolfing. When you feel like you've got to do it all yourself, and you're kind of by yourself, and you maybe you're in a relationship, but you're like, I just got to work a bit more. I've just got to get there so you feel better. So that's an example of being stuck. Your nervous system is stuck in that gear. So you could think of it as gears. There's like 3 gears. And a lot of people's nervous system isn't well oiled. So you get lodged in one. So sometimes you could just identify right now, oh my gosh, I'm lone wolfing a lot. I have felt, or I do feel like I've got to do it all alone. I kind of shut the door and I'm like working away, and I don't say yes to the social engagement because I just don't feel safe enough to be social right now. I'm not really feeling secure. Or the other one, you could be in the sympathetic. So you're feeling like a lot of anger. Maybe you're like getting triggered a lot by people. Maybe you're feeling like you're fighting the world a lot. You're coming up against a lot of things, and things are bumping up against you. So just really getting clear. That's such a great little graphic to write down and to know what's the 3 different states. So I'm going to just talk now about it's a really funny word, but it's easy to understand. So the myelinated vagus nerve acts as a brake so that we can control the speed of pushing more or pushing less. So with the breath we just do, we helped your system put on a brake to going and pushing harder and faster. So I know, Alice, you said you're in a bit of a funk today. Maybe you were like trying to get shit done and you were getting a bit blocked, and then you were like, argh! And your nervous system, you haven't then done like a breath, for example, to put on the brake to come back into the rested and the playful and fun state. You're just pushing forward. So I'm sure we can all relate to that. Like this has been kind of like my whole life. I feel like I'm pushing forward and I don't have the brake. I don't have this part of my nervous system called the myelinated vagus nerve that's working to then pull me back into the relaxed and the balanced place. And there's a lot of reasons why some people are more regulated easy than not. You might be thinking of, for example, John or Sally over here, and you're like, whoa, they managed to run this business and do this thing, and they always seem like they're pretty balanced and pretty regulated and pretty laughing. Well, we all have different systems and we all have different upbringings. So we do know that in the developmental stage of when we're growing as a little baby, that this blows your mind. Like, a lot of the fibers that are needed to be grown at that stage have already been grown by when you're born. So it's meaning that the myelinated vagus nerve is developed in the mum's belly. And when you're born, you have the same amount generally of the myelinated vagus fibers in your nervous system as when you're an adolescent. So it's meaning that this nervous system is developed a lot when you're a little baby, and depending on the state of your mum's nervous system, the state of the environment, was it quite safe and secure? Was it quite rested? It dramatically affects how much we have this break that's functioning in our life right now. But the exciting thing is that we know now, I'm going to show you in a second, all the juicy tools in what to do to help this break come on, right? So you're in your life, you're whipping the horse, like you're doing, you're showing up, and you're really starting to feel the pressure. You start to lone wolf, and you realize, and you do some tools that I'm about to show you, which will help you to build this break up, to get you back into that balanced state. Okay. So this is what we're talking about. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone want to unmute and have any questions? Or I can go straight through and keep talking about everything. So generally, for example, the ability to engage in social interactions relies on how well your vagal brake regulates your body's states. So for example, if you're in a lot of disrupted relationships, like you have fights with your friends, you have a bit of funny relationship with your boss, you're having some disruptive relationships with your partner, it may mean that you have issues with your vagal brake. Okay, because it's not able to regulate your nervous system into the digest and the rest. So you're always kind of on that kind of, you're watching out for danger, you're watching out, you're saying, just say you have a boyfriend, for example, his name's Ben, and your vagal brake isn't working, and you're working, and then you're just, you're like, oh, he didn't really greet me how I wanted to be greeted when he came in the door. And you might be like looking for little cues as to react in a fight or flight state. Or you may be working in your business and you may be pushing forward and the brake's not coming on to regulate your nervous system, and you may be kind of freaking out. Someone emails you or someone pulls out of a program, and you might be kind of overwhelmed with these things because you're in this like fight or flight. You're looking for danger. Do you see? So I'm just trying to break it down for like how this shows up in our life. Like I don't know if anyone relates, but lone wolfing for me was my life. Like I just would be, working harder, but I would be all alone, you see, and it nearly ruined a lot of relationships for me, because I didn't know that that's what my system was doing. The vagal brake wasn't working. And then I was just thinking it's safer to be alone. Do you see? So it's just crucial that we know about this. And I picked this photo. See, look at this beautiful leaves. Look at these little lines in them. Isn't that really similar to our nervous system? We've got all these nerves, all these electric wiring in us. We don't usually think of this, do we? That we have this whole nervous system, and that's creating our state of our feelings, our emotions. So I just saw it. I'm like, I have to put that in there, because isn't that just amazing that we are so similar to nature? We are nature. So yeah, so improving your vagal tone for better performance. This is what we're talking about. We're going to just in a second look at all the different tools you can use to improve it for better performance. So when your body's internal balance is disrupted and the body's natural brake, the vagal brake, can't control it, we tend to minimize what I just said, our social engagements. So can anyone relate to that? You know, when you're just feeling overwhelmed and you're like, oh my God, I'm a failure. I'm just going to like hide away in my, and you're just thinking you've got to do it alone, or it's not safe to engage with people. So that's your nervous system creating these thoughts and feelings. Okay, it's huge. So a strong vagal brake is so important for managing stress. Having a healthy and strong vagal brake is crucial for being able to handle stress and regulate responses. So someone with a strong vagal brake is that person that's the CEO, whatever, and they can get on the stage and they can talk on the microphone, and their child is suddenly got ill, but they can still show up, and they have a strong vagal brake. So the nervous system regulating all this pressure, and it's like, okay, I've got to calm the heart. Okay, I've got to take deeper breaths. Okay, and it's able to manage their system. If that's not happening for you, don't worry, because there's so many tools with what I'm going to show you with how you can improve that function. So how you can, and not, it's like, not even if it's the person that's got a strong vagal brake, this is just for everyone to impact the way that we feel, to feel the best that we can, and to really, if you are in a business that's helping other people, how important is it to be able to show up with a regulated state, you know, to be there for each other, or to your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your mom or your dad. You know, you can't be there for people if you're in that fight or flight stuck state, you see. And I really do believe like that's what we're really yearning for from each other, aren't we? Like to have a mom or a dad, a boyfriend that's just there for us, that's regulated, that's just like, hey, I'm listening, I'm open for you, right? Wouldn't that just be everything? Like I really feel like that's one of the main things that we're craving from society, from people, because it then regulates your state. So we're regulating each other's state. That's what's happening right now, even in this workshop right now. So, and it's just saying here, yeah, your past can impact your vagal brake right now. So if you do use the HRV and you are monitoring your heart rate variability, everything that's happened in your whole life affects your stress state right now. It all builds up. But this is why I'm such a strong advocate for Kundalini yoga, because that is so fast to release the stress, to get it off of our nervous system. You see, it's all about that. So these now are the 5, what I'm talking about, 5 areas, the secrets to helping your vagal brake, to helping you feel that fun, that spaciousness, that flow when you are building your business, when you are doing anything, you know, when you are in your life. But it's huge in business, because running a business is one of the most challenging things that anyone can ever do. It's probably the biggest personal development thing you can step into, is running a business, because you have to face yourself, you have to face all of your fears, all of the things coming up that's stopping you getting the results. So the first thing that we'll look at here, and you may be looking at it going, this is basic, like I know this, like this is, which I also thought when I came across all this information, but it's just, if you implemented a few little things here, you would be experiencing a whole different state of life, because you'd be affecting the vagal brake, the nervous system. So I'm going to read through all of these areas, and in your journal, if anything is just like a whoa, I so need that, jot it down. If something's just like an aha or a full heart yes, just jot it down. And then you might end up with a whole list of things that you would like to implement in your life, and then just take a few of them. Like, don't be overwhelmed thinking, oh, there's all these. Then you could just implement after this, say, I'm going to do this for the next 2 weeks. Okay. So whatever comes up, you can jot it down. So the first thing that we'll jump into is environmental exercises. So nature, bringing nature, seeing nature. Like I have a plant that's on my desk right now, bringing nature into your home. Having an altar, having a room in your house is so important to regulate your nervous system, especially if you're living with other people. So an altar is great. This is a bit of a representation of an altar with having regulating things on it to come to, and where there's no other interference, there's no other anyone's thoughts, anyone's other projections in the space, where you can come back to homeostasis in that area. So setting up an altar is such a profound thing to do. We do say that when we come to the altar outside of ourselves, it's building the altar inside of ourselves, because everything external is internal. So you're carving like an altar, or I call it your inner sanctuary, so that you can come back to that place when you're really triggered and you're getting really pulled out there in the world. You're training yourself to come back to this place. So that's really helpful with a sacred altar. So in your house, and that's a great place to do your morning practice too. You're coming and doing your breathing, you're saying your prayer, you're putting your intention for the day. It's so powerful to set that up. If not, even having a small something in the corner is so powerful. Being near water is a cleansing element. Whenever I'm teaching or leading a retreat, if it's a whole day retreat, I jump in the cold shower or the cold pool after I teach. I cleanse myself. I clean all my energy channels. Really helps regulate you. So water, cold and hot is amazing. I had a cold shower before this. I had a hot and a cold shower actually before this. It's so powerful to clean and clear the energy channels. Seeing nature, just being able, like my office is set up here and I can see out into the valley. So for me, that's a big thing to help to regulate, to come back to homeostasis. Being able to see nature, so important. Creating your home as a ventral place. So ventral is the place where you're social and you're feeling balanced and you're feeling good. The ventral, how there was the lone wolfing one, there was the fight or flight one, and the ventral one. So the ventral is when you're feeling the good, juicy feelings. So how do you create your home as ventral? What's even one, like, can you even just think of one thing? So what I believe is only have things on the wall that raise your energy. If it's like Aunt Betty, who always was so annoying to you and she was like pulling your ear, and it's like some old photo that just really doesn't make you feel good, maybe take it away. Do you see? Like, we can be so unconscious to what's in our home, and there can be things that are just triggering us. So looking around and then having whoever you identify with, whether it is Jesus, or whether it is some kind of teacher, or whether it is nature, or whether it is some goddess image, you're having beautiful uplifting images in your home. Mantras, I always play mantras nonstop. I have an older phone that I just have looping on mantras, and it's healing beyond words, because the high frequency sounds. So sound is medicine, and sound, so this is a teaching from Kundalini Yoga, the way that you really, really feel good about yourself, and you really, really feel perhaps that self-love, or that's like, I'm okay, is that you love your sound. You love, how many people like hear themselves, they're like, oh no, I don't sound good on camera. I don't look good. So they're kind of, they're not even approving of, they're not loving that the sound. And that's what we are. We're beings that create sound. We create sound frequency through our aura and through the words that we say, throughout everything that's beaming out of us. So your sound is so important. Your voice, the sound that you create, and just starting to approve and love of that. So something you could do every day is you could just pick a mantra, and you could just, like, sa, ta, na, ma. So really, we could even just chant it for 1 minute right now, and just listen to your sound, and just be loving the frequency that's coming out of your mouth. And this may be a whole different kind of perspective of how you usually talk to yourself, or you might think, oh, I don't really like the sound of my voice. So even just sitting down and close your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. let me just put in, so the mantra is sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. And as you chant it, just really feeling the vibrations coming out of your throat and just feeling at peace with how you're sounding and just being like, oh, this is a beautiful frequency, and just seeing how you feel with that. So sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma. It's in the chat. Sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta. Ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma. Take a deep breath in. Deep, deep, deep. Squeeze your pelvic floor, the rectum, sex organ, belly button in, pulling up, in and up, pull the energy up to the brain. And then just exhale and let go. Oh. If you're connected to that mantra, you could write that down. And there's so many beautiful compilations of that mantra. And you could just be chanting. You could be playing it all the time and then just chanting it whenever you feel like chanting it. It's a great thing to do, to play the mantras, because you don't have to do anything. They're just playing and they're having an impact on all of your nervous system and all the cells in your body. For example, the Botakatam mantra helps to heal family lineage patterns and problems in the family lineage. So these are very powerful, high frequency mantras. We do use them in Sanctuary TV, of course, in the yoga meditation classes for that reason. So creating your home as ventral. I always have my windows open. I have fresh air blowing in and out of my home all the time. Even in winter, I have my bedroom window open and more blankets on, and that fresh air is so powerful for your nervous system, to keep building the nervous system strength. So there's just so many things you can be doing. Living with safe people. Are you living with someone who is not very ventral, is not very regulating? Can you minimize your time with that person? Having a feel of, how does each person make me feel? Really getting clear with that. Organizing your environment. Whenever I have someone also, like a cleaner, coming who helps me clean the space. Oh, I feel like it's like a whole shift in my nervous system. When it's all clean and organized, it is very, very, very healing for our nervous system. When things are everywhere, it makes you stressed, isn't it? It confuses your system. Yeah. So that is the nature part. Social and relational. So this is something that you may have never even thought of. Ready? Ask yourself this. How much time should I spend alone today? What activities can I do by myself? So knowing thyself, you can feel in your system, whoa, I've been with people every day for a week. I've been seeing people socially. I've been working with them. I really could do with some time seeing no one today. You see, or you might be alone a lot running a business, and you might be like, I so need the energy of other people around me. Not even, you might need to go up the road and be at a cafe where there's like people around, and it just makes your system regulated more. Does anyone relate to that? I absolutely relate to that. I have to get out of the house at some times and go and just be around society. And it just kind of makes you feel like everything's fine. Like everything's going to be okay. There's an old man over there. There's someone walking their dog. I'm in society. It's the co-regulation. It's a very, think of, the men and people sitting around the campfire and looking each other's eye. It's what we need. We need other humans around us. But to a degree. So you need to know your own nervous system. Yeah, how much do you want to spend with others today? What tasks do you prefer to work on independently? So that's a huge one. So right now in your business, is there anything that you just love doing? And it's just like, oh my gosh, I love writing. Like I love organizing things. I love spreadsheets. I love numbers. I love creating video, whatever the tasks are, getting clear on what tasks that you prefer to do just yourself. Maybe you do get energy with those tasks. And what tasks you find hard, you could do with some help with someone else, or what really just annoys you and you're not good at, or you just prefer to not touch it, and someone else, you would really love someone else to be helping you with, you could outsource those tasks. So there's certain tasks, everyone has strengths, everyone has weaknesses. That's how we're born. We always say focus on our strengths and not our weaknesses. So just always talking about our strengths. Don't bother to be hashing over, oh, I'm not really good at this, or just see if you can outsource it. So don't even, you don't go into that. And this is a big one. What relationships do you neglect due to overworking? It's huge. And that's when you're in that dorsal, you're in that stuck state and you're lone wolfing, so your nervous system's been stuck. How easily do you get too involved? This is huge. Does anyone relate to this? It's just like you're getting pulled from, you're hearing about, your friend with the relationship, and you're like, what was happening there? Oh my God, how could they do that? And then you're like, you're all into it. You're all into their emotions, and you're feeling stressed and you're feeling worried. And then you're like, hang on, like I'm too involved, or you may not even realize that. That was a big one for me as well. Getting involved, like being really too empathetic, too compassionate, too much outside of yourself. So pulling it back, pulling your energy back. So yeah, who do you feel overly connected with or haven't spoken to in a long time? Like, is there like a long lost friend that you really, really love them and you just haven't reached out because you thought you're too busy and you thought you're not there yet and you're stuck in dorsal, and that person really gives a lot to your life, and you'd love to rekindle that relationship, or perhaps, say that you'll call them once a week and have a good check, and you really want to, keep that relationship connected, you see. So we can just be like so in our life and just going forward that we don't even have the kind of reflection period. This is a bit like a retreat, this workshop, reflecting on your life, what's working, what's not working. Do you say yes to others just too much? That you're like, oh, okay. And then it's like, it's really a no. And then you feel you've disrespected your soul. And that's really the worst feeling that we can feel, is when we're going against our own truth, because we don't want to let others down. We don't want to feel rejected. We don't know what they might come at us with, a bit of anger or something. So kind of having a look at that as well. Or do you frequently just say no to others? Like you're in the lone wolfing and you're saying no to others a lot, and you're kind of staying in your own zone because your nervous system isn't regulated. So a few others here. So who would you like to continue connecting with? What friends in your life would you like to reach out to a bit more? Who are the people who you like to know better? So you might be like, oh, I met a really interesting woman at the networking thing the other week, or I met like this cool, like, oh, I'm gonna put my hand up to get a coffee with the person, and having that awareness of like, whoa, that person's really cool. Like they spark a fire in me. I wanna hang out with them more. Is there any, is this happening, or maybe it's just not a thought in your life because you're in the lone wolfing state, perhaps. So who are the people? What are the things you enjoy doing with friends that you'd like to keep doing. So register when you spend time around people and you really feel that buzz, that upliftment, and you're really balanced and you're just feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so much better. I'm really balanced. I'm really regulated. Maybe you remember like it was when you were in a park, you were all real, connected to each other. You're eating really, what things regulate you and what things do not regulate you. Like maybe you hang out at the mall a lot with people and you just feel zapped after and you feel just like you're out of yourself, just taking notice of these things. So what are some new things you'd like to try with others? What are some things you enjoy doing alone that you'd like to continue start doing? That's a lovely one. I love having baths and just sitting in the bath and feeling and putting a lot of salt and a lot of minerals and things in the bath. For me, that's something for me. I think water. So just really tuning into your own system. What are the times when you've come back into that fun, playful state, and what got you there? Who do you feel comfortable around? Who are people you feel sympathetic towards? So some people would stimulate your state, some people ground your state. Everyone's having an effect. What are some ways you typically connect with others? And who would you like to connect more with others? So there could be people right now that maybe that person is just a bit of a trigger, a bit of a drainer, and you could put them into a text friend or a phone friend where you just more have a quick word on the phone. You don't meet up with them. There could be people in your life that you're like, I don't feel good after seeing them, and they would be better in that kind of relationship, just managing the time that you spend with them. There could be people right now you're thinking, whoa, I get so much from these friends. I really have to reach out and make sure I see them more physically. Physically is obviously the best way to hang out with people. So, and yeah, what are the ways you connect? So do you connect on SMS a lot? It's just text and you're feeling alone? Do you chat on the phone a lot? Is it via social media apps? Is it in person? Is it in group settings? Of course, in person is the best to regulate our system. Emotional. So where do you typically experience positive emotions? Just thinking right now, down at the mall, down at the cafe, on a hike you go to, at your friend's house, in your house, or does your house feel stressful? Is it very unorganized, or is someone that you're living with, they trigger you a lot? Having a look at where do you experience positive emotions? Who or what brings out positive emotions? Animals. Where, and with working, where do you like to work the most? Do you like to work in your lounge room? Do you need to set up an office? Do you work good around people at the cafe? Do you love being in groups and teams? Do you really actually like being by yourself? Like everyone's different. And I think there's a thing of like, we can have that block of like, oh, what's the right answer? What's the best way? But a lot of this is knowing thyself, knowing your own, because you've got your own nervous system going on. Everyone's got a different nervous system with how we're brought up and how our genes are. So everyone's different with how you best thrive. This is an interesting one. When do you usually feel most positive during the day or week? So jot it in the chat now. When do you feel most positive during the day? Put the day and the week, and just kind of, it's like a question. When would you ever ask yourself that? But this is very, very pulling back the curtain, isn't it, on our lives? We're usually just on a treadmill going forward. And really, when you do feel, so that would be a good clue to then be scheduling in those tasks, even those challenging tasks with your business of like, all right, so I'm usually feeling the most positive, I don't know, in the morning. I'm a morning, that's putting those tasks in that you find need the most energy, or whether it's in the evening or what day it's on. getting them out, getting them done and ticking them off your list when you're on that high energy. And then usually you then finish it and you tick it off the list, and then you get a big dopamine hit, and that regulates your state even more. You're just like, yeah, I did it. And then you want to keep going forward. Can you recall a moment when you transitioned from feeling stressed and anxious to feeling calm and positive? How did it feel? So can you recall a moment when you transition? So have you had that time when you're like, oh crap, I'm so lodged in this fight or flight state, and you did a breathing, you did a technique, and then whoa, my whole reality's changed right now. I'm in a whole different universe. That's how it feels all the time, because the state is giving you certain thoughts. So you'll notice that your thoughts, depending on the nervous system state, you'll have different thoughts running. You'll have different emotions running, and you have different feelings in your body running. Maybe some tight shoulders, maybe the throat will feel tight. Maybe you've got the thoughts of, will I ever get there? People never usually, life's just hard. You'll notice these thoughts that come. So you change the state, and then the thoughts change. Because on the first graphic with that whole nervous system diagram, that weird diagram I showed you, 80% or more of the messages come from the body to the brain. 80% or more, they're coming from the body. That's why when you breathe, you feel different. You feel different mentally. You have different thoughts. Is it registering? So when you go and have a bath, when you go in nature, when you're doing all these things that I'm showing you, then you feel so different in your mindset, and you feel joyous, or whatever, because it's 80% of the messages come from the body, they go to the brain. That's why the somatics, these things are so important. Who or what makes you feel playful? So getting more of that. We say, like, you've got to play every day. We're meant to play. And I know it just, you can forget that, right? You're like, I've got to do, then it gets all serious. So what friend or person or animal or something, get that person into your life. That will help so much. What prevents you from feeling playful? Is there like a joy killer? Someone who just, you see them and they're just low vibe, or they're seeing the negative all the time. Can you kind of, have more of an SMS relationship with that person? Very important things. Do you have any mantras? We've gone through them. So I am all on board for playing mantras non-stop. I play them non-stop. It changes the energy in the room. Why not? You don't have to do anything. They're just playing. So, and the mantras, a lot of them are in Sanctuary TV. They are called NAD. So the sound NAD mantras are high frequency codes which change the cells of our body. So it changes our mindset. And just right now, ask yourself, what emotional state would I like to be in most of the time? What is it? Happy? Grateful? Joyful? And just, you could every day, this is just so basic, but it's so powerful. Could you every day have a note on the wall, and you just look at it and you just say, I'm happy? This is, how much of it is it like, you're thinking, oh, this has gone wrong, I'm not there yet, this and that, one day I'll get, it's all that kind of stuff. So the way that we can change it is one basic thing of just like, could I be happy right now? And it's just like, even like a little bit of movement on the face starts to change the way that you think, the way that you feel. It's real stuff, changing your state. So even pop in the chat, what emotional state, just like what feels true for you? What is it like? Peaceful, or, and you could pop that on your wall, and you could just be like, okay, take a deep breath. I'm peaceful right now. I'm happy. This is not I'm not saying to what is the word, spiritually bypass. I'm not saying that. This is a different part where we're looking to change our state. Of course, we're with ourselves and with all the parts of ourselves that are showing up. But sometimes it's very powerful to just say, hey, I'm grateful, gratitude within the process of life. Okay. If that helps you to know where I'm coming from. Yeah, it's just what the last thing's saying. Grant your permission to experience positive emotions in every cell of your being. So let's take a deep breath in. And whatever word came up, take a deep breath in and just grant yourself permission. I just say, I grant myself permission to feel. Mine's just happy. I'm just going to grant myself permission right now. It's okay. I'm going to put a smile on my face to be happy. And just see if like you're feeling a bit of energy moving, see if you're feeling a bit of like ridiculousness, like why am I not even happy? Like I've got all this stuff in my life, like maybe I'm not where I want to be. Of course, that shows that you've actually got drive in you, you've got some willpower in you, you've got vision, that you see where you want to go, but you're not quite there yet. That's beautiful. I'm not quite there yet. I have a lot that I want to do. But yeah, right now I grant myself permission to feel happy. And that's beautiful. And see if you can feel the cells of your body vibrating. Somatic exercises. So the body, we're looking right at the body. How do we change our state through the body? So deep breathing from your diaphragm, that is like the 101. So if you're breathing up here, it's going to be making you feel in that dorsal or in that fight or flight state. Dropping it down to the belly. Put your left hand on your belly, below your belly button, and start to take a deep breath. And out. Breathe through the nose. So always, this is another hack, is always, so inhale. Always breathe through your nose. Never breathe through your mouth. I can see a yawn. That is really, really positive. The yawning showing, no, it's very, because your body, see, your body's just showing you messages. It's saying, oh, it's safe to release. It's safe to rejuvenate now. It's safe to let go. So that's beautiful. If you yawn, I won't take it personally that you're annoyed or something. That is a beautiful sign from your body that it's finally like, oh my God, I don't have to be in fight or flight anymore. So keep breathing. And I want you to make the out breaths longer. So take a deep breath in, out breath a little bit longer. That'll help also regulate your state as well. So that little tip right here is making the out breath longer, and always breathing through your nose is like, will change your whole life if you just implemented those two. So even when you're sleeping, some people are very extreme. They tape their mouth so they don't breathe through their mouth. Some people do that because they know how powerful it is to breathe through their nose. So always breathe through the nose, because have a think about it. If you're breathing through your mouth, that's when you're shocked. That's then the whole nervous system thinks you're in a chasing by a lion, and you're in this. Yeah, so I can see some yawns. So you'll see how it's changed your state straight away. It's funny, isn't it? You'll straight away notice. You'll notice in your eyes might be a little bit more rested. Your shoulders will drop. So being really aware. You can count how many breaths you take per minute. We aim for 1 breath a minute. That's what we're aiming for in as yogis, to breathe as slow as we can. So that's another hack, is like breathing as slow as you can. Slow it down. So just right now, breathing very slowly in. Just really slowly breathing out. See if you can even hold it for a bit and then slowly breathing out. Focus on your sensations of your breath moving through your body. So right now, I want you to also focus on how the lungs feel, how the throat feels, how the air feels moving through your body. It's another trick to get further in this beautiful, fun, flowing spaciousness, good feelings state. Just feeling, how does it feel to breathe deeply? Gargling water chanting or singing. So right now, let's even just chant a Sat Nam. It's Sat Nam. Okay, so just rub your hands together. Press your palms together. This is not a religious thing. It's just going to connect the left and right hemispheres of your brain. Press the thumbs to your sternum. Roll the shoulders and see how that makes you feel. Feet flat on the floor. You may feel a little bit more homeostasis, a little bit more balanced and connected. And we're going to chant Sat Nam. It's a long Sat, a short Nam. And I want you to feel your brain vibrating, because it will vibrate your pineal gland, which will send the signals to your nervous system of homeostasis. Inhale. Sa Nam. Inhale deep and hold the breath. And exhale. Exposing yourself to cold temperatures. So every morning, if you're able, have a cold shower. I do that every morning. I don't let myself not do that, because I know a few minutes of a cold shower, I'm just going to put these funny glasses on, because I know I can just feel that I've got a lot of bright lights and my nervous system's going to be stimulated and I won't be able to go to sleep. So that's why I'm putting these weird looking glasses on, but it's another hack as well, having the blue blockers. You're not allowing all, because it's just frying your eyes and your nervous system, and then you're feeling in that wide state and you can't sleep, but you are really tired, but you're wired. So getting the blue blockers is super helpful and so powerful. So guess how long a few minutes of a cold shower is in terms of yoga? It's the same amount of Kundalini yoga as 3 minutes of a cold shower. It is equivalent to 30 minutes of Kundalini yoga, having a few minutes of a cold shower. That's how much energy you get. That's how much aliveness you get. And when you're in there, some people just stand there still, like, when's it going to be over? It's so powerful to just go like just move all the lymph, move your body. So I just go up on my arms, I'm going to massage the breasts, massage, just do a bit of tapping, and I'm just like moving, and it's just pushing all this cold water through all of the blood, and you feel like absolutely on fire after that. You feel like you're so ready for the day. You're so ready to, I do my practice after that, and it's just like, and you get it's actually the same as doing a line of cocaine. It is like, they've shown this, that it releases the same chemicals in the brain as taking some drugs does. And that's why you feel like, yeah, and before you were like on a downer. So this is so powerful, how to quickly just change your state. So obviously getting massages and acupuncture, you feel amazing after that. You're more in homeostasis. Combining intentional breathing with specific movements. That's what I do in Kundalini Yoga meditation in our membership area in Sanctuary TV. We combine movement, breath, and the sound frequency of the mantra. That's why it's so powerful, affecting our nervous system. Gentle stretches. So only you know what you need. You may need more fast things. You may need at the moment more gentle stretches if you're feeling like very tired, very worn out, very highly strung. Imagining yourself in a preferred emotional state. Well, we just did it, and allowing yourself to fully feel it. So just do you feel like a difference? I feel like I've just given myself permission to feel happy. Even though there's all these things you want to achieve, there's all this stuff where you want to be, it's like it does change your state. The sighing thing's funny. Let's take a deep breath in. Sigh it out. It is really powerful. It just sounds really funny. Take a deep breath in. Let your whole body let go. So when you, as a woman, allow your voice to sigh, it actually opens the womb up. It's like in childbirth, there's screams, and that's because of the sound opens also the sexual organs. It's also why orgasming, when you orgasm, it's like there needs to be breath, movement, and sound, and then that's how it can move through your body. So it's all to do with your nervous system. And we did tapping. You can even just hug yourself like that and just go like this. Breathe deep through the nose. And what I do after my shower is I have essential oil and also coconut oil, and I rub it all over my body. And I know that's going to ground me as well. I need grounding as a person. I'm more up in the ethers. I need grounding. So I rub my body with oil. It just feels so good after the cold shower. So if you write any of these down, if it's just like, oh my God, I want to do that one, and you have a whole list. Cat cow, it's what I do in generally most of the yoga classes in Sanctuary TV. The cat cow is the hands on the floor, and you're just, your knees are on the floor, your hands are on the floor, and you're moving the spine. You're breathing in and out, moving that spine. And why do we do that? Because you have the 72,000 nerves going all through the spine. So just have a think every day. To be that fun, spacious, playful person, you have to be moving the spine. You have to unlock the spine with breath. Just remembering that, because that's where all these electrical signals are. So if it's all kind of like boggled up, you're getting older. That's why people are older and they're kind of like, they're frozen in a state. They're always angry. They're always fearful. They're kind of just frozen, you see, because there's no malleability. There's no vagal toning. Does that register? So they're all through the spine. And that's why that's in Kundalini yoga. That's why I teach it, because we always unlock the spine in every session. So all your chakras, all the energy systems, and the nervous system are all opened and revving to go, and you can feel higher and elevate your state. So just before we finish, we're going to look at mental exercises. So close your eyes and just go through this. Imagine being with a safe person. How does that make your being feel, your body feel? And notice who pops up. Who is a safe person in your life? And could you engage with them a bit more? Picture yourself spending time with someone who makes you feel safe and comfortable. Take some deep breaths. Notice where your imagination brings you, whether it's into a park, in your lounge room, at the river. Pay attention to your body's natural responses right now. Notice how your body automatically reacts to different situations and experiences. Like maybe you realize, going to this person's place it's just not fully serving you. It's dysregulating you, or working in this certain environment, or working with this certain person, or is just making your system being taxed. So this is a funny one. Connect with your authentic self. So maybe that's the first time you've ever heard that. Connect with your authentic self. So how I explain this is, when we're in dorsal, in the lone wolfing, you want to do it all by yourself, or when you're in the fight or flight, you're not yourself, are you? You're in your stress personality. You're in these triggers from the past, which is not really you, but it is a part of you. But that's not really where we want to lead our business from, is it? Because we'll be leading it from the past. So I'm going to do a whole nother workshop on this, on parts work. But just to go into it a little bit here, your authentic self, or I call it your soul space. I can feel that I'm talking to you right now and you're in that place. But life happens, doesn't it? And the phone rings and all the emails come in and all these triggers can come up. And we can, you can be feeling like the scared one. Maybe the scared one's running the show a lot. Or maybe the anxious one could be running the show a lot. Or the fearful one, or the angry one. And these are just parts of us from the past that get triggered, but they actually want our attention. They want us to talk to them. They're actually younger parts of ourselves. And so that's a whole other thing called parts therapy. But it's just to give you a little bit of piece of the pudding of, we get triggered, we all do. And we just want to get back into our soul space. And you're not failing when you get triggered. There's nothing wrong with you. It's happening to everyone. But all these tools will help you to come back into your more regulated space, because that's where the adult is. That's where you're leading from. That's the self that can make those decisions to carry your life forward, you see. And there's a whole another therapy, though, that's called parts work, to be able to engage with those parts, just to give you a bit of an eye-opener. And the HRV, with the HRV device, when it's registering a really non-variant HRV, so it's very low score and there's a lot of stress, it generally means that you're in your parts, you're triggered. You're in those parts of you, and they've got a hold of you from the past, the fearful one, the scared one, the jealous one, whatever. And what we want to come back in is obviously our soul space. Some people call the parts, some lineages call it the ego. Internal family system call it the parts, and then coming back into your soul or your pure essence. This is the name of the game to do anything, because you want to be obviously creating your business from this regulated soul space, from your higher self going into the future, not from the past coming into the future. Okay, so it's a bit of a bird's eye view of what we're doing here. Yeah, so being present with your true self while experiencing different states of being, that's what I was just talking about then. You're here in your soul space, but you're also aware maybe there's a bit of fear over here. There's a little bit of the sad one over here. There's a little bit of bloating in your stomach, a little bit of nerves because tomorrow you've got to go and have an interview with someone. So you're just really getting in touch with all these different parts of yourself. Acknowledge your sympathetic state. So just what I said, just acknowledge it. Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. It's serving a purpose, but I just don't want to hang out there, for a lot of my day. Not shaming it, not ridiculing it. When you feel mobilized and ready to take action, your sympathetic state is telling you to do so. So noticing that place of when you're feeling that way, and recognizing your dorsal state. And you could journal right now. Your dorsal state is letting you know. So what is it letting you know? The dorsal state is when you're feeling calm and connected and social. Your ventral state is inviting you to. So just there's all these different states in us, and just tuning into like what they're inviting you to do. And you can just be journaling about them. So an interesting question is, consider the direction you want your state to take you today. Whoever asked themselves this, I don't, but you could write that down in the morning. Just consider, where do I want my emotional state to guide me today? You could just ask yourself. So powerful questions. Instead of the same old drool from yesterday of I'm worried about this, I didn't do that, you can start to change it by doing these things. Identify what you want to deepen today. What do you want to deepen? Do you want to deepen feeling deeply connected to your work? You want to deepen the connection, to the fear that you have that's stopping you from going to that next place? Do you want to deepen your connection with someone? These just eye-opening questions. Lists. I have post-it notes in a lot of places. So you could create lists, you could create big, sheets on your wall, you could create post-it notes. it's super helpful. It just depends, like if you're that kind of person that needs that co-regulation of having things listed out. So seeing if that helps you as well. Yeah, in the morning, reflect on what you want to create or achieve today, identify potential obstacles and plan strategies to overcome them. So having your planner, having your journal and putting down, okay, I'm going to do this task, I'm going to do this social media thing, I'm going to have this conversation with this person, I'm going to be seeing this client, or whatever the things are. And then just next to them, identify potential obstacles. Like, okay, I usually feel a little bit resistant to this task. Okay, I usually feel a little bit of rub, a little bit of like resistance and stress towards this one. Alrighty. And how could I overcome that? All right. Could I do a left nostril breath that regulates my system more? Could I go for a walk around the block? You know, could I go and call this friend that's just a powerhouse, super supportive? You know, could I take the dog for a walk? Could I go and there's just getting that bird's eye view of what's usually going on in your life. Instead of just being in it, we're suddenly like having a talk about it. And even just this workshop, it's just like talking about these things and pulling the curtain, you know, back to look into the life. It's like that can be so regulating to be like, I'm not alone. Alexis said that she was, you know, lone wolfing, and it's just like, oh my gosh, everyone else is doing this stuff. So this is where the co-regulation of the community, you know, comes into place, which is so important. So in the evening, reflecting on your accomplishments, obstacles, and strategies for tomorrow. Massive. The big one there I want to highlight is accomplishments. We do tend to look at what hasn't gone right, what we haven't done, we haven't got there, and even when you've got, you know, this many clients or you've got this much experience, there's always the part of you there that's just like, oh, but I'm not just there. It's a human nature thing. So what I want you to do right now is ask yourself, if you hadn't done all the stuff already, like some course, some training, you know, went to school, you did this, you went to that college thing, you've got this thing, you've been going to the gym, you've been doing maybe a meditation every week, you've been doing all this stuff. If you hadn't done any of it, if you hadn't done this workshop even, you've learned so much in this workshop. If you hadn't done all the stuff you've already done, where would you be? Just asking yourself, where would you be? You hadn't done any of anything, any course, any yoga class, anything, you'd be way back, wouldn't you? You'd be just like, think of yourself like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You'd be so far back. So it gives you a little bit of a shift in perspective of like, holy moly, I do have a lot of stuff under my belt. I have gone through a lot of stuff. I've got through a lot of stuff. You know, I've done a lot of like different trainings and just educational things. And so there's a lot that you've done, right? So it's really important to acknowledge all that stuff so that your system can regulate itself, and to be like, okay, and then also be like, yeah, and I want to go there. And that's epic that I have so much, you know, visioning into the future. It's awesome. I want to push myself to get there, but I've already come from all the way back from there. So it really does help you to just take a little check in on how your system's feeling right now, your emotions, your nervous system, your thoughts. Alrighty. So I wrote this down about this device. I'm not selling this at all, but if you did want to have a look at it for yourself, to research it or to get it, I wrote down that it is called Kyto, Kyto, and the app is called Heart Rate Plus Coherence. I think the app is like $15, and I'm pretty sure that is like about 70. So that's how you can get it plugged in, and you can start to measure the HRV and see how regulated you are, how much stress you are. If you're not interested in that, it's just fine. It's just extra tools and extra tips for you to help you along the way. And so just looking at what I've spoken about in a bird's eye view, know thyself. So I have given you so many tools and tips here about how to help your vagus nerve become more malleable and stronger to then get you into that good state. But I don't know, I can't feel your system. I don't know personally. Everyone is so different with what you need. So it's really about knowing thyself. So, for example, what's happening a lot today is people aren't knowing how they're feeling, their state, and they're, for example, going to a personal trainer. If you've got an injury, for example, you go to a personal trainer, osteopath, physiotherapist, you don't go to CrossFit. So that's kind of what I'm just generalizing in this industry of people are, doing coaching, but they need healing. People are doing this thing, but they need that. It's just really knowing thyself. Do you see what I'm saying? Because how do you coach someone forward if they're, both their legs are broken and they can't even walk straight? But some people are getting all into the healing and they're doing a lot of healing, but they're never really like future planning and getting their goals and kicking their goals to the wall, and they're never really kind of getting out there. So it's knowing like where you're at and what kind of things that you need. And yeah, so another example is that just say you're kind of registering your triggers, you're kind of aware of things that are triggering you, you're aware of when you're tired and when you're not, you're aware of how much stress you're under, you're getting aware of it, and you've done some work on yourself. And then maybe you do want to go to a Tony Robbins course or conference for the whole weekend, and you're going to be screaming and you're going to be yelling on your feet and you're going to be pushing yourself outside of yourself. That's kind of cool if you've done some internal work and you've got some feet on the floor with what's going on in there, and you can really go out and launch out there. And that's like a great example of knowing thyself, but not ignoring though the things that are coming up in you. So it's just like there's a time to go inside, there's a time to do the healing work, and there's a time to really be launching out there. The same with your business. It's just knowing the season that you're in, knowing like the energy that you're in, knowing where you're at. For example, for me, my lower back started hurting. I don't know if any of you saw the social media posts, and it's just like, man, I'm a yoga teacher as well, and my lower back's hurting. What's going on? But I realized it was some of the thoughts that I was having, giving me a tight back. It was also the fact that I've been sitting cross-legged over 10 years in meditation pose, and I really needed to change up my morning practices. I needed to do some slow stretching more. I needed to open up the lower back. I needed to be doing way more yin practices, and I needed to be doing hot and cold showers and getting the oils right onto my. So I knew that like, oh, I'm getting these symptoms. I need these kind of things. So it's you knowing thyself and knowing out of everything I've been speaking about, what are the things, do you need a hot and cold shower, or do you need a cold shower, or maybe you don't. For example, you may be the kind of person that needs like high energy music in the morning. You need someone yelling at you like Tony Robbins, like, get up, go. You need, a high energy exercise class. And that's how you work as well. You need music blaring in your ears. You need motivation. Or maybe you're like me, you already have that. You need like a little bit more slower stretching. You need some Kundalini class, but like with some chanting and some breathing. You need a hot and cold shower. You need sun on your skin to mellow you out. Are you following this? So like everyone's system is very unique, plus your upbringing, plus the traumas and things that you've been. And then it relates to your business, showing that everyone thrives in a different way. So I don't believe in those cookie cutter models of people saying, this is the exact way in how you build your business, for example, or this is the exact way that you should exercise. It's like everyone's a unique ecosystem, living in their own home, having all different kinds of thoughts, thousands of thoughts. So really, it is to know thyself. And the last couple of little hacks as we finish is social relationships are gold right now because of the speed of technology, because of how much we're kind of alone and on our computer, especially if you're building a business. A hack is like 3 solid friends to have around you. So whoever you identify that regulates your system, connecting to them more, connect in person if you can, really get connected with those people that support you and hold your nervous system in a good state. Don't change too many things at once. You don't want to dysregulate your system and be like, all right, I've got to do all these things. Alexa said, like, take a few things and add them into your life, and that will be super duper powerful. And as I said, community is the antidote, because connect, community, co-regulate together. We're not meant to be alone. And that's where the lone wolfing happens. And you go into the spiraling down when you're too much alone, you see. So getting super duper connected in a community that's got similar values as you, that's going in a similar direction. So we have come to the last final part. And at the moment, for you attending, you can get 40% off if you do want to go further in this and get a whole year of support of both coaching, mentoring, and healing. So it's not just, for example, healing like yoga and chanting and doing the inner work with healing, or it's not just coaching you forward, like giving you tools and techniques to get you further moving forward, or it's not just mentoring, holding that safe place for you to be a flashboard for your back. It's all of those things, because I've trained within all the places of coaching and healing and mentoring. So that's what the platform is about. And there's a new class every single week, a new session. This will go in there for life, so you can rewatch this as many times as you want. You get a supportive Facebook community, and you get unlimited access to the library. There's hundreds of workshops on there. You can use it on any device, and there's a Q&A every month as well, so you get to answer questions, get your questions answered, and you can cancel at any time. So yeah, it is a high vibe community of people who are similar, who want to put their foot forward and make positive impact in the world, or have more financial freedom, or know how to regulate their nervous system and show up in a stronger way. And it is that combination. Like, I wouldn't say it's a yoga platform, meditation platform. That is one part. I wouldn't say it's a mentoring platform or just coaching. It's more all of them. So things like this will be in there. And right now you can get the whole year for under $500 because you get 40% off. So if you do want to get that, I will, or just have a look at it, I will pop the link in the chat. Oh, that is the page. So you'll get to see all of what it contains here. And this is the yearly. So let me just get off of that, and I will just pop this link in the chat if you want to have a look at that. And I'd love to finish now with us. So closing your eyes, so getting your feet flat on the floor, taking a deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And I'd love us to just connect together, to just tune into the group space and how you're feeling. So how is your nervous system feeling? How is your thoughts feeling? How is your body feeling? What emotion are you feeling? Just to finish off. So I'll get Sameen. Did you want to unmute, honey, and share your voice? We did a little intro at the start, and we just shared our name and how we're feeling. So yeah, feel free to share how you're feeling now, and maybe how it changed from the start.
Sure. I can really feel the energy. It's very calming, and it is. I feel very aligned what you have told. Like in the last, couple of months, I'm doing quite a lot of work for myself, and I'm very grateful that I've joined this training today. It really helps me to reassure that the things that I'm doing is the right things. So it's like I'm feeling, uh, you know, reassured and content, like quite, quite, uh, you know, uh, in a good state.
That's so good to hear. I'm really hearing that you're working on yourself a lot, and it's like reconfirming like so many amazing things. Thank you for sharing that. That makes all of us feel really good. Can you can you feel that? That's great. Thanks, Celine. It's been lovely to have you here with us. It's beautiful. Georgina, did you want to share what's coming up, honey? How you're feeling with all this? I know it was so much to take in. Oh, I think you're still muted, honey. Did you want to?
Yes, I really liked it. I feel very connected and very peaceful and yeah, ready to take on everything.
Yeah. So good. I hear so much like enthusiasm and like excitement and just like a go-getting. So well done. That's amazing. Just, for 90 minutes. So good and it's so good to meet you. I've just so many of you have seen, like seen the relationship on social media. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yes, yes.
good to connect here.
Yes, it's so nice. It's so nice to connect. I'll definitely be doing more of these and thank you, Alexis, so much.
My
Yes.
pleasure. Thanks, Georgina. Alice, how are you feeling? How was all of that for you?
Um, Great. I feel a lot more calmer. I think the breath work really helped. Obviously a chaotic day, so just tuning into we forget to breathe, I guess, and that obviously stabilizes and kind of centers me a little bit, or a lot. I'm feeling a lot more calmer than what I was before, which is great. And obviously having a really soothing and your voice is quite positive. So certain energies kind of give you, like you said, what brings you peace and what brings out a certain energy. And it's quite positive and calming and sweet, all those nice bubbly things. So I'm ready to do yoga tonight.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, well done, Alice. I'm so happy to hear that. And I really understand what you're saying, that the positive vibes from other people is like, it's so important, isn't it? It just straight away lifts you up out of that funk. So well done. Like you're in a whole different energetic frequency from attending. So really great work.
Thank you.
Yeah. Joanne, are you there, honey? Joanne's in England.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yay! Oh!
I'm practicing.
You're already practicing.
Yeah. No, that was just all really good. Really quite insightful, and I loved like the theory kind of it behind all of it as well. And I think I've been recognizing while you were talking that I've actually maybe been in the dorsal kind of state quite a lot. I think that's my kind of go-to if I'm feeling kind of overwhelmed or stressed. So yeah, I feel quite excited actually, just about like trying some of the techniques out, or just thinking about what I can do, like in terms of organizing my house, or like, who are the people that I want to spend my time with, and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow,
that was really
massive.
good.
I just want to acknowledge the, awareness that you had of the state that you were in, the dorsal state, and now with that awareness, you can, do the tools and shift out of it. And I just want to let you know that you are in the members area in Sanctuary TV, and this replay will be in there for you. So tomorrow I'll put it in there. So just go over this, and just
Yeah,
like, 'cause there's just so much we covered, and just write down even other more things you can be doing, and it'll be massive. Like even if it's just 3 things from this you put into your life,
yeah.
a whole new state of being opens up, you see. So I'm really
Mm.
excited for you. And yeah, if anyone has any questions for whatever we went through or about the membership group, or anything, just reach out and DM me. I will put this as a replay. I will email it to you for 48 hours. So you've got 48 hours to watch this again if you want to go over it and get all the energy again and take notes and things. And it's so much to take in. Like when I learn, I go over things a few, press play a few times from my teachers to just, it takes a while, to register it all and then make real change. So, and the 40% off will be available for 48 hours as well. So I'm going to love you and leave you, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. It means the world for me. I just live for this. I live for personal development and to share this with women. So I just want to congratulate you and have a beautiful day, Joan. Have a beautiful night, everyone else. And
Thanks
get
so much.
going. Get going with it all. Take action. Yeah. Lots of love. Bye.
Thanks, Alexis. Bye.